Welcome to Learn Commerce PU online classes. Don't forget to like our video and subscribe our YouTube channel for all the updates.
Good morning, students. Welcome to history class. So in the earlier classes, we have discussed the various aspects of Indian history and the various dynasties who ruled India in the different period. And later on, when we come to the modern age, even British came to India and there was a struggle between Indian rulers and British. At the same time, Tipu Sultan and Hyder Ali, who fought against the British for the establishment of their own rule, because after a period, Tipu Sultan and Hyder Ali, they ruled Mysore. But when British came, they opposed the existence of, or interference of British in Mysore. So that is why the various battles were taken place between British and Mysore state, that is Tipu Sultan and Hyder Ali. So in these battles, first battle of Mysore, second battle of Mysore, third battle of Mysore, in this battle earlier Tipu Sultan and Hyder Ali somehow able to manage, but ultimately the last battle, it was fought between Tipu Sultan after the death of his father in 1799. So in this battle, Tipu Sultan was completely defeated and killed in the battlefield, and later British took over the power. And in this, after 1799, now British took over the power and they handled. And after taking the power, the Mysore state was put under the charge of commissioners, or British made Mysore a separate state or independent unit of administration. So here, after making Mysore as an independent unit, they appointed commissioners to look after the administration. In order to look after the administration of Mysore state, they appointed commissioners. So this is how Mysore became a model state during the period of commissioners and later Diwans. After 1799 to 1831, this commissioner rule which continued in Mysore, but later what we can see, that rendition of Mysore, 1881. So 1881. So in 1881, the rendition of Mysore means British, they given this Mysore. In the 1831, what we can see, once again the commissioner rule was there. And here the period of 1831 to 1881, what we can see, once again the progress for a long period. So well, let us say after take over the power of Mysore, or when they confiscated Mysore, British, how they made Mysore state as a model state. What type of administration provided by the British? Nearly 7 commissioners, they ruled Mysore for a long period. Among 7 commissioners, we have 2 great commissioners, that is Mark Cubbon and Lewis Bentham Bowring. They were the most remarkable commissioners who made a major change in the Mysore state, or they in a way renovated Mysore, they modernized Mysore, or a major change was identified during their rule. So let us see how these commissioners introduced various policies and brought a major change in Mysore state. The first, we can see the Mark Cubbon, one more no, popular commissioner, Mark Cubbon. He ruled 1834 to 1861. 1861. So what were the reforms introduced by Mark Cubbon? Here one, he introduced many administrative reforms. Administrative. What are the administrative reforms introduced by Mark Cubbon? That he shifted the capital from Mysore to Bangalore. For the first time, because till that Mysore was the center of political activities. From Mysore only they used to administer whole Mysore state. But now this capital of Mysore state, which was shifted to Bangalore by Mark Cubbon. So this shifting of capital made a major change in the Mysore state. And secondly, Mysore state was divided. It was divided into administrative unit. Administrative units. For the purpose of easy administration, the whole Mysore, earlier it was as a Mysore as a center, they administered the whole Mysore state. But now for easy and effective administration, they divided whole Mysore state into various administrative units, and further that units were divided into districts and taluk. Districts and taluk. So how this commissioner, that is Mark Cubbon, decentralized the administration for easy and effective administration. Otherwise, there is no possibility of improving the system, and we can't improve a large area. Instead of that, by dividing a large area into small areas, so effectively you can administer a particular unit. So that is why state was further divided into, or administrative units further divided into districts and taluks. And one more reforms, that is Kannada language. Kannada was introduced as official language. Earlier, there was no Kannada as official language, but now, since the major population belonged to Mysore state, they used to speak Kannada. That is why, for the easy transaction and administration, he introduced Kannada as a state language or official language. For the purpose of official transaction, they used Kannada. And fifthly, new boards were constructed, new roads and bridges were constructed. Because in order to go for an improvement or in order to develop a particular area, we need transport and communication. So, for promoting this transport and communication, he constructed roads and bridges so that each and every corners of the state can be connected. So, this is how, especially this roads which connected Bangalore, that is the capital city, from the different parts of Mysore state. So this is why they constructed the new roads and bridges, and a railway and even the telegraph line. Telegraph lines were laid, and even railway. Railway line for the first time laid between Bangalore and Jolarpet. So this was the first railway road which was constructed in Mysore, that is between Bangalore and Jolarpet in 1859. In 1859. So this was the first introduction of railway line in India. When we see the introduction of railways in Bangalore or Mysore state, certainly this was the great development, because this used to connect a major area, and in the later period. Well, and then tax collection was systematized. In order to develop a state, revenue is important. So this revenue was systematized. Collection of tax or revenue. Without this, the source of income of the state, you can't see. So here, for that purpose, in order to undertake all these welfare activities, they need huge amount of money. That money can be collected by systematizing tax collection. So this is how they systematized. And even coffee plantation was developed because Karnataka, in the Mysore state, which comprised a major fraction of coffee plantation, and it's also a source of income. That is why Mark Cubbon showed much interest for the improvement and development of coffee plantation as to improve the what you call source of income of the state. This is how Mark Cubbon, as a commissioner of Mysore, introduced many reforms that certainly contributed for the development of Mysore state as model state. That is what Mark Cubbon. So let us see, after Mark Cubbon, one more popular and great commissioner who came to Mysore state, that is Lewis Bentham Bowring. This Lewis Bentham Bowring, who ruled or administered Mysore in between 1862 to 70. During this period, he brought many changes in Mysore, or he reorganized the entire administration of administrative system of Mysore state. So because of that, a major change was done in Mysore state. This is because of various changes or reforms. And so far as administrative system is concerned, that he divided whole administration into Nandidurga and Ashtagrama. That is the two administrative units. That is Nandidurga and Ashtagrama. And he appointed a commissioner for each units. Each administrative units, he appointed a commissioner. And the commissioner was in charge of this, and he looked after all the development of Ashtagrama or Nandidurga. Apart from this, land revenue was reformed. He made a major reforms in land revenue. As I told earlier, in order to improve or development of any state or a country, this is only revenue plays an important role. If there is very good revenue, there will be a good improvement is possible. They can introduce various plans, various schemes for the purpose of development. And one more reforms has done, the police and judicial departments were organized systematically. Earlier there was a police and a judicial department. So these two departments are very important. Why? Because in order to establish peace and order within the state, we need very strong police and judicial system. By understanding this, Bentham Bowring, he introduced certain changes or reforms in police and judicial department, and it was organized very systematically. And then he introduced a department of public instruction. Education is power. For the first time, in the Mysore state, a separate department for education was established. That is Department of Public Instruction. So this Department of Public Instruction, which was established for the first time in Mysore state for the promotion of education. And in order to look after this department, a director was appointed, that is Director of Department of Public Instruction. So this department fully looked after the educational improvement within the state. So this is a major, reforms introduced by Bentham or Lewis Bentham Bowring. So these two, not the two, total 7 commissioners, they ruled Mysore as a commissioner. But these 2 commissioners, they made a different thinking and introduced various reforms. By doing so, they could be able to build up this state or Mysore state as a model state or modern state. So after 1862, what we can see, changes can be, even other commissioners who ruled Mysore state. But after that, the state was rendition to Chamaraja Wadayar the 10th in 1881, after a long time, because this commissioner, they ruled for a long time. But now this state was given back. The once it was captured from the Mysore Wadayars, now it was given back to, from 1831. Between 1799, after the death of Tipu Sultan, after the defeat of Tipu Sultan, this Mysore state was confiscated by the British and given to this Mysore Wadayars. But in 1831, because of the maladministration, misadministration, under this pretext, they captured power of Mysore state by the Wadayars, and they directly put under the charge of rule of the commissioner. These commissioners, they ruled 1831 to 1881, and after 81, once again Mysore state was restored back or rendition to Mysore Wadayars, and during that time Chamarajendra Wadayar the 10th was the ruler of Mysore, and after him, Chamaraja Wadayar the 10th, Krishnaraja Wadayar the 4th, he succeeded Chamaraja Wadayar, Jai Chamarajendra Wadayar the 10th or Chamaraja Wadayar the 10th. He was, succeeded by Krishnadeva Wadayar 4th, and this Krishnadeva or Krishnaraja Wadayar the 4th. During the rule of these 2 kings, Mysore was served by Diwans as like of commissioners. Now we can see the rule of Diwans after this. Nearly 11 commissioners, they ruled, 11 Diwans, they ruled Mysore and made Mysore as a model state. Among these Diwans, 11 Diwans, Vishweshwaraya and Sir Mirza Ismail were very important Diwans. And in the next class, we have to see how these Diwans are different. As I said, 11 Diwans, among them Vishweshwaraya Vishwesvaraya and Sir Mirza Ismail. They were the popular among the Divans of Mysore, and they made a major change by introducing various reforms in Mysore. At the same time, they introduced certain schemes for the purpose of the development and progress of Mysore state. In Vishwesvaraya, he introduced the industrial reforms, and at the same time it also be continued by Mirza Islam in certain extent. So in the next class, let us see how these Divans, they especially Vishwesvaraya and Sir Mirza Ismail, they made major changes in Mysore, and they built Mysore as a model state. Thank you very much.
Don't forget to like our video and subscribe our YouTube channel for all the updates.